What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about the race to the top, which are the best 10 characters for you to take to level 100, but we're also going to talk about which characters are the best for you to invest for the future, because let's be honest, with level 100 coming, then Gear Tier 19, then Dark Dimension 7, it's better for you to start preparing right now in order for you to have the biggest amount of resources, to have already double and triple deep investment on those characters in order for you to completely crush Dark Dimension 7 when it arrives. So we're gonna take a look at a more broad perspective and see more into the future and see which characters you should be leveling up right now. This is going to be extremely important because it's going to allow you to get a bunch of juicy rewards, including isolatable level 4, isolatable level 5, and a bunch of TL gear that might allow you to catch up in some characters. And if you like, you can also get the Golden Apocalypse, which is definitely a unique skin that we have in the game. So we're gonna break down all the characters, the 10 for each straight, but I'm also gonna give you some additional characters that you could consider depending on your playstyle. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a Golden Apocalypse. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. We are going to take a look in alphabetic order based on the type. So first off, we're going to take a look at Bio, Mutant, Mystic, Skill, and Tech. As I said, we're going to take a look at the characters that I think that are best for now and for the future based on the meta we are living in, and also based on the value that they're going to get for Dark Dimension 7. Okay, so first off, we have the Bio team, and you can see right now we have Tigra, we have Photon, we have Super Scroll, best character in the game right now, we have Nova, and we have Zombie Juggernaut. These 5 characters, they are very powerful in all game modes. Let's be honest, whether it is Alliance Wars, Cosmic Crucible, Avengers Tower, whenever that shows up, these characters are going to be extremely impactful. Nova is the leader of the Nowhere team, then we have Tigra, she's also sort of the leader of the New Avengers. Photon, she's kinda the leader of the A-Force. Then we have Super Scroll, he's the leader of everyone right now, like I said, best character in the game. And then we have Zombie Juggernaut. This guy is amazing, the more stats you put on him, the better. He has individual value, and he also has value with the Undying team. So this is definitely a character that you should be investing in. Now, these are like the obvious choices, right? Tigra, Photon, Super Scroll, Nova. All of these characters are going to Dark Dimension 7 for sure. Now we have the secondary options, which are still extremely impactful characters on their own team, and we might see some value in them in multiple game modes as well. So first off, we have Lizard. He's definitely going to Dark Dimension 7. He's amazing in Alliance Wars, he's amazing in Cosmic Crucible. This guy is not going anywhere, so this is definitely a safe investment. Then we have Venom. Venom right now, we still don't know the full potential of him, but I'm gonna tell you, this guy, big enough, is gonna be brutal, and on the right team, is gonna be brutal. His ability of spreading heal block and offense down is going to be crucial in matches going forward. I'm already using him in Alliance Wars, yes, and I'm very close of being able to use him consistently in Cosmic Crucible as well, so that's going to be awesome. And of course, it's going to be the future, at least for the next year or so, of the raids. So you can take him to level 95, maybe not to Gear Tier 17, and that's why you need to have this distinguishment between the characters for Dark Dimension 7, but the other characters that are good in all game modes, but that don't need the Gear Tier 19. Okay, so that's for Venom. Then we have Red Hulk. Is Red Hulk still relevant? I guess, sort of. So Red Hulk, the biggest benefit of getting him to level 95 or 100 is just to keep him alive, right? Unfortunately, he dies quite easily, so we need to keep him alive. Is he going to be part of Dark Dimension 7? Maybe it's not that great because once again he dies too easily, but he could be in that discussion for sure. Phyla-Vell, high chance that she's going to be useful in Dark Dimension 7, maybe not, but she still has insane value in Alliance Wars. She has insane value in Cosmic Crucible, especially if you consider spending some diamonds on her. But the Infinity Watch, a team from like 2 or 3 years ago, can still beat new teams like Infestation and New Avengers, which is quite impressive, depending of course of the size, but overall it's pretty good. And finally we have Lady Electro. Lady Electro, guys, everyone is sleeping on this girl. She's amazing. She does insane amount of piercing damage. She absolutely shreds Rogue whenever Rogue has all those positive effects. Lady Electro absolutely obliterates Rogue. So she's definitely a character that you should consider taking to level 100 as fast as possible. You can see from my investment on Isolate Blue level 5 as well. Okay, we're gonna take a look at additional buy options that I didn't mention here. So for example, we have Korg. Some people think that because Korg can revive that we should just keep him at low level. It's definitely not the case, because you need Korg to use his special and his ultimate, so keep that in mind. Rhino is another sleeper character that a lot of people are sleeping in. This guy is insane in Cosmic Crucible, this guy is insane in Alliance Wars, so the more you invest of him, the better. And level 100 as a damage dealer plus protector is definitely someone you should invest in. Then we have She-Hulk and Abomination. She-Hulk, the more I use her on offense, the more value I think she gets, and being able to keep her alive so she throws all the negative effects at the enemies is crucial for the Gamma in Alliance Wars. And if your She-Hulk dies, it's pretty much game over for Gamma, so keep that in mind. Abomination to a lesser degree compared to She-Hulk, but nowadays Abomination is one of the characters that we leave behind, and that's pretty much it. Hulk, still amazing. The special, the ultimate, the basic, the ultimate removing the revive ones from the enemies in Alliance Wars is crucial. In Cosmic Crucible it can still be quite annoying. He's still quite tanky to use on Scourge events and things like that, so I don't think he's going anywhere. And that's pretty much it of the optional options, right? There are a few other characters: Green Goblin, Captain Marvel, Spider-Woman. I just don't think these characters are relevant enough to be part of this list. And in terms of the symbiotes, Void Knight does not need 5000 focus on his ability block, then he steals energy. Those are things that don't really benefit from having more stats. And Carnage and Venom, they definitely don't need more stats because they are mostly kit-based characters. Titania, The Thing, and Swarm, they are pretty much single target damage. Swarm is not that bad, but right now I didn't find a good use for him in Alliance Wars offense or Cosmic Crucible offense or anything like that. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next list of characters, which is the Mutants. And on the Mutants we have many obvious options because they are also powerful. So we're gonna start off with Forge. Forge is another character that people are really sleeping in, but I'm gonna tell you, whenever you face, like I did, I already faced this, whenever you face a 3 diamond, 700 stars, ISO 2 level 5, level 95 plus, 100 plus Forge, you guys are gonna cry to your mama, because this guy is absolutely ridiculous. He does tons of damage, he does tons of barrier, he does tons of speed bar, he does tons of healing. Depending of the ISO weight, he does even more healing or not if you have him on defense or on offense. This guy is absolutely ridiculous, and on top of that, he revives characters on the Extreme X-Men team. So this is definitely one of the best characters for you to take to level 100 as fast as possible, and let's be honest, like everyone is sleeping on it. Then we have Nightcrawler for obvious reasons. This guy is insane. Spawns with a lot of speed bar, has turn 1 stun with a very low cooldown. The ultimate obliterates any kind of team that does not have safeguard, so this is definitely a good investment. And if you have him as a raider, he can give speed bar to allies that are Extreme X-Men, so this is definitely someone you should be leveling up as fast as possible. Then we have Apocalypse, for obvious reasons, like second best character in the game. Do we have to say anything else? He can one-shot someone with his empowered basic. The ultimate applies trauma to everyone, so I mean, what else can we say? This is definitely one of the first mutants you should take to level 100. Then we have Gambit. Gambit, amazing in Cosmic Crucible, amazing in raids. Probably one of your options for Dark Dimension 7, so this is definitely a character that you should consider investing in right away. And he has the passive ability that attacks outside of his turn, so of course a lot of value right there. Then we have Firestar. Firestar, she's the best of the new warriors, and I have been using Firestar in very creative ways outside of our team in other game modes that is not Cosmic Crucible. And make sure you pay attention to my war videos if you don't know what I'm talking about. And she's very cheap. She's definitely gonna take. She's definitely gonna be part of my list of Dark Dimension 7 characters because how cheap she is and how much value she provides in other game modes, specifically PvP game modes, where having more stats definitely pays off, not like raids. Okay, we're gonna move on to the secondary options that are not that obvious, and the first one might surprise a lot of people is Silver Samurai. This is another sleeper character. There are so many sleeper characters, there are so many underrated characters that content creators, top end game players are sleeping on, and this is definitely one of them. This guy absolutely shreds in Alliance Wars, and you can also use him in Dark Dimension 7 because he's extremely cheap. He uses a unique that we don't have many characters that are using them right now. He's so cheap, like I said. He taunts, he gives barrier to himself, he has insane amount of armor and health, and he does piercing damage on his abilities. He applies counterattacks, he applies offense down, he applies heal block. Like, this guy does pretty much anything. The problem is that for most cases he's pretty much locked together with Omega Red and Lady Deathstrike. But if you're gonna invest on those other characters, this is definitely one character that you should not sleep on. Okay, we're gonna move on to Rogue. Rogue, she was probably one of the worst Horseman characters, but now with the rework of the X-Men, with Extreme X-Men and Gambit, she became top of the meta. So she's doing tons of damage now. If you have her together with Forge, I'm gonna tell you, she doesn't die. She absolutely does not die, because every time you push her below 50% health, the Forge is going to heal her up, and she has the Drain as well. She's gonna have barrier, she's gonna have evades. Like, she gets absolutely ridiculous right now. And with level 100, more stats, more difficult to kill, more damage, more drain, more everything. So she's definitely one of the characters that you should consider investing in. Cyclops, part of the Extreme X-Men team, but you can also use him together with other X-Men characters. And whenever X-Men characters attack, Cyclops is going to retaliate. So the bigger you have him, the more he's going to retaliate. In raids, he's also provide barrier, so the bigger he is, the more barrier he's going to provide. And overall, he's a decent character. He's not still not amazing. He's still not the Cyclops I want to see in Marvel Strike Force, but he is almost there. Then we have Omega Red, still one of the best legendaries in the game, still one of the best mutant characters in the game. Absolutely ridiculous. This guy will not die because his kit is so good. He gets speed up on the special, he gets defense up on spawn. In Alliance Wars, he gets more damage the more times he attacks. In Alliance Wars, he gets more focus. In Cosmic Crucible, he absolutely shreds together with combos like the Eternals or some other team that allows him to go just a little bit faster, like Mr. Negative or Doctor Doom or something like that. And then, of course, he has the basic that steals health from the enemies and heals himself. The more health he has, the more he's gonna heal. So this is definitely a character that you cannot skip on. It's let's be honest, it's Omega Red. It's not going anywhere. And finally, we have Archangel. Now, some people are thinking that the Dead Seed is dead, and for the most part, it's kind of dead. Now, if you know how to use the speed calculators for Marvel Strike Force, you are still gonna be able to use Archangel together with Magneto and maybe some other Horseman character. Stay to the channel so you can see some of that gameplay. So you can still use this character together with two other Dead Seed members, and then some other additional characters, and it's still gonna provide a lot of value. So the bigger you have your Archangel, the better. And getting those 100 levels on him is definitely something you should be considering in for your priority in terms of mutant characters. Now, we're gonna take a look at the other options that you could have, depending on your gameplay, of course, but that I skipped for this video. So we have Sunspot, Nemesis, and Wolverine. Wolverine is okay in Alliance Wars, he's still decent. He's definitely applying a lot of piercing damage, bleeds, and so on, so he still has some value. and it's also cheap to get up. Nemesis, same thing, he's a little bit slow, he's a little bit squishy, so the bigger you have him, the better. Sunspot, he needs to give energy, so having him higher is going to keep him alive. Now, some options that might be a little bit controversial, you guys let me know if it's a hot take in the comments below. It's Hardlight. A lot of content creators, I'm not gonna say their names, but a lot of content creators, oh my god, we have to take Hardlight. Oh, I have such a hard bond for Hardlight, bro. Like, no. First off, she is like 16 or something, so just call the FBI. And then she's a kit-based character. I understand that the bigger you get her, the more barrier she's gonna get as well. But if you actually understand her passive, she does not need more. She already has over the cap of barrier with her passive compared to any other character in the game. So yeah, sure, you can make her bigger, but it doesn't matter. And after the first turn, after she has the first turn, she does not really matter. She's not that great after the first turn. So this is definitely a character that it's a trap, in my opinion, that you're gonna put resources in, but the payout is not gonna be that great. Other characters that you could somewhat consider, Dark Beast and Sabertooth, if you really care about Alliance Wars and Cosmic Crucible, and you know how to combo these characters with other people as well. Dazzler, Magneto, Sunfire, all these other characters, they are somewhat okay, but definitely not a priority when it comes to get to level 100 first. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next target. Damn, this video is gonna be way too long. It's the Mystic. Okay, Mystic is gonna be easy. All the Mystic characters are amazing. We don't have to explain too much. Okay, so Quicksilver. We need to explain why Quicksilver is one of the best Mystic characters in the game. Apart from the insane amount of piercing damage that he does in all abilities, the ability of removing charges from the enemies, and he also has Scarlet Witch whenever he drops below 30% health, which Scarlet Witch will be based on his stats. So the higher you have your Quicksilver, the stronger the summon Scarlet Witch will be. Icarus, the bigger Icarus is, the more destruction is gonna cause. So yes, you should still invest in him. Should you invest on Cersei? Probably not. Icarus is just, it's the one you should get up faster. Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, probably one of the best characters of 2023. He has value on the Secret Defenders for sure, but he also has value anywhere else in the game. He's probably going to be one of the top picks for you to take to Dark Dimension 7. So yeah, this is definitely a character that you want to level up to 100 as fast as possible. Dormammu. Dormammu is only relevant if he gets to do his special and his ultimate, so the bigger you have him, the better. And that's why you want to get him as fast as possible to level 100, because otherwise it's not gonna matter. Now, if you don't have Dormammu at 7 red stars or even with diamonds, maybe skip him, because if you are in that situation, you should be using Dormammu on offense rather than defense, and then the level 100 is not going to be as important. But we're going to talk about secondary options that you can consider. Spider Weaver, she stuns, she heals, she does piercing damage, she kills, she buffs. Like, I mean, it's Spider Weaver. It's another original Marvel Strike Force character. She's insane, she's amazing, she's absolutely crazy. In Cosmic Crucible, in Alliance Wars, in Dark Dimension 7, you are definitely going to take her for sure, unless you are crazy and you listen to other people, other content creators that don't know what they are talking about. Okay, now we're gonna take a look at the secondary options for Mystic, and then we are gonna take a look at a few alternative options, but we have to talk about Wakanda. So Wakanda, they are pretty good. I'm gonna be honest, I skipped Wakanda a little bit, but I would say that that's a mistake. If you can, if you like, if you have the diamonds on them, you should definitely invest on Wakanda, and especially War Dogs, because right now they have insane value in Alliance Wars offense. So this is definitely something that you should consider. It's going to help you progress in the game. It's going to help your Alliance progress in the game. So you should definitely be investing on Black Panther and Black Panther 1 million, aka Bashenga. Beyond that, we have Morgan Le Fay, still one of the best horsemen in the game, if not the best horseman in the game, still one of the best legendaries in the game. She has some of the main abilities like Omega Red S, and her kit is so powerful because all the turn rewind she does with her ultimate and with her special, she's not going to go anywhere for sure, and the bigger you have her, the better, because you need to have her alive. Then we have Hela, and we have Thor Infinity War. First off, Thor Infinity War, this guy is absolutely ridiculous. make sure you stay tuned to the channel. We'll see a video very soon of this guy in Cosmic Crucible. He's gonna do funny stuff. It's actually pretty ridiculous what he's able to do together with other characters. And I'm gonna tell you right now, we are going to have an Infinity War team coming up soon. We already have Thor, we already have Iron Man. There are rumors of Captain America being the third Infinity War team character of this team. So be on the lookout, because this is definitely a character that you should be paying attention to, or at least have a close eye on. And then we have Hela. Is Hela the best Asgardian character in the game? Maybe. Maybe Val is better, maybe Hela is better, I'm not sure. But when you get Hela, you also get Greg. So you're getting 2 for 1. And Hela right now, she has a lot of usefulness in multiple game modes. Cosmic Crucible, Alliance Wars, Undying Team is amazing. You can use them in all those game modes to great success. Also in the Avengers Tower, Escape from Kaln, and other place where I'm not gonna tell you, but she definitely has a lot of value. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the alternative characters that you can take for Mystic, especially if you didn't get up your Wakanda, or if you don't care about Wakanda. So one of those characters is going to be Thanos. He has individual value, he has value with the Black Order. Depending on the Cosmic Crucible rules, depending on Alliance Wars meta, the Black Order will always be impactful, especially now that Thanos has specific counters against bio characters. So right now he counters Red Hulk, right now he counters Spider-Man 2099, but we might see more bio teams coming in the future where Thanos is going to be impactful. Then we have Beta Ray Bill and Gwenpool. These characters can be used in Cosmic Crucible on specific scenarios. Gwenpool is part of one of the best Cosmic Crucible teams, but Beta Ray Bill is one of those sleeper characters that if you are getting up your Val, you should definitely use this guy as well with Val. And he also has some synergies with the cosmic characters, so I will always have this long-term value. Then we have Val, probably one of the best Hero Asgardian characters in the game. She is definitely going to be part of your list for Dark Dimension 7. And beyond that, we have to mention Spider-Man Noir. Guys, do you realize that the Spider-Man Noir is just like the passive? It's just like the passive of Super Skrull, and no one ever noticed it? Make sure you stay tuned to the channel, because we are going to have some high-level gameplay of Spider-Man Noir that will blow your mind. So make sure you are paying attention to the channel in Alliance Wars and in Cosmic Crucible. Beyond that, we have to talk about Doctor Doom. A lot of people are saying that you should build Doctor Doom. Like, bro, do not build Doctor Doom. I made that mistake and I deeply regret it. So it's actually a good thing for me that we're getting this level cap increase, because my Doctor Doom is too powerful, he's too big. And because of that, I cannot activate his passive. So if you're going to take him to level 95, make sure you don't have the red stars on him, because if you have the red stars, this is definitely a character that you should not invest in. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to activate his passive. Okay, we're going to move on to the skill characters. So let's take a look at the skill characters. And of course, some of these options are going to be obvious. We have some of the best characters in the game right now being skill. We have Black Cat, turn 1 stun with trauma. She's amazing. She does turn rewind with her basic, with her special, with her ultimate, not with the special, with her ultimate. The special removes charges. It's absolutely crazy. She has insane stats and she does insane amount of piercing damage and bleed. So this is going to be a very long-term character. Black Cat, she's going to be relevant still 5 years from now. Then we have to talk about Kestrel. Is another original character for Marvel Strike Force. She has synergies as well with cosmic characters, with the Infinity War team as well, with Nick Fury. She's a very strong, solid character. She heals on turn, she spawns with immunity, like she does so many cool things that she's not going anywhere. And on top of that, she also does this ping if the enemies have defense down, which is quite powerful. And she also does some nice damage, even piercing damage, I think. Yes, piercing damage with her ultimate that can one-shot a lot of people. Then we have to talk about Kraven. Kraven is one of the best characters in the game. He's definitely one of your picks for Dark Dimension 7, so guess what? You're gonna level him up to 100 whether you like it or not. Then we have Ronin. Ronin is a okay character. He's not amazing, he's okay. There are specific situations where he can be very useful. If you know how to use his basic to turn rewind the enemies, depends on the composition of the team as well. And the best part, he gives speed to Agent Coulson and also to Tigra. So if you know how to use Ronin, it can be quite interesting, and if you can keep him alive, the better, to make sure that your characters have the speed, the focus, and so on to do whatever they have to do. This is a hot take, probably. I'm not sure if he's one of the best skill characters to take to level 100, but he can be definitely impactful. Someone that is absolutely impactful is Taskmaster. The Underworld team is still one of the best Alliance Wars team. A lot of people are sleeping on this team, and it's unfortunate that this character is super expensive, because otherwise I'm sure that a lot of more people would use him. He gets speed bar on spawn, he steals positive effects to the enemies, he applies blind, he applies stun. When this character was released, everyone was sleeping on him. I was the only guy saying that build Taskmaster now, and no one did, but this guy is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm sure he's not going anywhere in Alliance Wars, at least, because of the amount of speed bar that he gets, and the fact that he has synergies with villains, mercenaries, with Underworld, but also with any kind of skill character that we have on the team. Okay, now we're going to talk about the secondary options. Some of these options are definitely going to be controversial. So we have Star-Lord Annihilation. This guy is not that great unless you make him very, very big. If you make this guy very, very big, if he can stay alive for more than 2 turns, he is quite impactful. Then he has a problem that he needs to land the negative effects from his passive in Alliance Wars, often stand for 2 turns. If you can land these, that's great. And he lands these before the enemies spawn with their immunity. So this is quite impactful against teams that spawn with immunity. But it's one of those characters. He has some potential for the future. We are not going to talk about now, but he definitely has some potential. But we have to wait and see what Scopely is going to do with this guy, and especially with the Guardians team, that it keeps accumulating characters that are not going anywhere. Okay, so let's go back to the other optional characters. Technical difficulties right now. Okay, so here we go. The other skill characters that we are going to talk about is Gamora. She's the damage of the Infinity Watch team. You definitely want to keep her alive. She has the ability of flipping defense up into defense down on all enemies. So because of that, she's definitely going to have some value for the future. And whenever she empowers, she heals up. So I think she's going to have some value going forward. She revives. I mean, it's Infinity Watch, right? It's a team that never dies. So let's keep going. Okay, we have to talk about Hawkeye and Nakia. So I didn't invest on this team, like I said, but right now they have huge value in Alliance Wars against specific matches. And the more you invest on them, the better they get. Sometimes in Alliance Wars, no, in Avengers Tower and in Escape from Kyle and so on, these characters can give some crazy value that people are not expecting, like clearing some floor that you're not predicting or so. And the Wakanda team and the War Dogs, they will always have value against teams with minions. So this is definitely a team that you should be investing in, and the bigger you get them, the better they will be. So keep your eyes open for them. And then we have Shang-Chi. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I got slapped by a 3-diamond Shang-Chi in Alliance Wars, and he one-shotted my entire team. It was absolutely crazy. So is Shang-Chi still a priority for Dark Dimension 7? Maybe not, because Kraven is a lot better, but Shang-Chi is not much further behind. So it really depends on if you can get value of Shang-Chi in Cosmic Crucible, because he definitely has value in Alliance Wars, and he's still one of the top picks, if not the best pick, the second best pick for skill in Dark Dimension 7. So this is definitely a character that you should be investing in. It's not all about the damage. We have the turning wind, and very important, we have the healing plus removing negative effects, which a lot of people sleep in. But when you are in Dark Dimension 7 and the characters apply blind to you, guess who's going to clear that blind? It's going to be Shang-Chi. So this is definitely a character that you should not sleep in at all. Okay, so those are all the skill options. Let's take a look at some additional options depending on your gameplay. So unfortunately, Black Widow, Valkyrie, Proxima Midnight, Red Guardian, Captain Sam, Kingpin, these are all very kit-based characters, and because of that, you're not going to get a lot of value out of them. Then we have Mockingbird, Moondragon, Sharon Carter, Echo. These are more characters that are kit-based, so I mean, leveling them up, it helps a little bit, but not a lot, because they are just not doing much, or they are too slow, or they are just too much kit-based, but that's pretty much it. Now, even that Kingpin is a kit-based character, in Alliance Wars, his minions absolutely obliterate. So even that Kingpin on his own is kit-based, the stats are not going to benefit him, the stats are definitely going to benefit the minions. So if you are big into war, Kingpin is definitely one of the characters you should build up to 100, because he's going to obliterate the enemies. He's also a very cheap option for Dark Dimension 7. It requires only 2 sets of mini uniques. So if you want to prioritize him over Shang-Chi or Kraven, because he's cheaper, which allows you to go faster, then it's definitely going to be a good option for you to take to level 100. And then we have Colin Wing. Like, she benefits of extra levels, but let's be honest, no one is going to build up Colin Wing. We could also talk about Corvus Glaive. I would not recommend Corvus Glaive because most people remove him for anyone else on the Black Order team. And then we have Nick Fury, the skill legendary character. Maybe you should invest on him, but most of the people use him for his special, not for his ultimate. And I'm not exactly sure where you guys are getting value out of him. So you guys let me know in the comments, where are you using your Nick Fury to justify this level 100 for the upcoming event? Okay, we're gonna move on from the skill characters, where those were my additional options in case you guys want to consider. Now we're gonna talk about the best tech characters to take to level 100. Pretty obvious, Vulture, this guy is absolutely ridiculous. The Sinister Six are one of the best teams right now in the game, so you should definitely invest on them. And this guy is gonna provide drain for the allies, and whenever allies or enemies die, he's gonna get more speed bar. His damage is absolutely ridiculous, and Scopely was nice enough to give everyone 2 diamonds. So this is definitely a character that you want to gear up as much as possible. And on top of that, he's must have for Dark Dimension 6. So there is no mistake with Vulture. Then we have Tony's Infinity War Iron Man. Like I said, we have an Infinity War team coming up soon, at least within the next 2 years or so. We'll have a full Infinity War team. This guy is absolutely ridiculous. If you pair him up with Kestrel, if you use him in certain rooms of certain game modes, this guy just obliterates. If you have rooms that allow you to assist, he's going to get speed up and he's going to be quite fast. He does tons of piercing damage with his ultimate. He applies heal block, he applies blind, he's the tank of the team and he heals himself. What else can you say? Like, I got very lucky, I got 3 diamonds on this guy and he's absolutely ridiculous. If you guys have been ignoring this guy, this is definitely one of the Pegasus members that you should level up to the maximum together with Kestrel. Let's move on to Kang. Kang, he has been falling off quite a lot in terms of his value on the meta, but he's always going to have value because of the speed bar on spawn, right? That's never going to change, so he's always going to have value. Now, his stats are really falling off. For example, he has 135,000 damage, and when you compare him to this guy has 200,000 damage, so that's a huge difference. But Kang with his basic, with his abilities of turning winding, applying slow and so on, getting more speed bar, is always going to be part of the meta in some way, even if his stats no longer matter. And there are things you can do to make him better. We're going to talk about that in the future, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. But yeah, he's still one of the best characters in the game, and he's definitely one of your picks for Dark Dimension 7. So he's not going anywhere. So you can start right now leveling up to 100 because you're definitely going to be using him. Then we have Green Goblin, amazing in Alliance Wars, amazing in Cosmic Crucible. He's not so great in Dark Dimension 7 because he requires Dr. Octopus to be part of the team. But if you care about PvP game modes, if you care about fast-paced gaming and fights, this is definitely a character that you want to invest in. Depending on which ISO weight you are using on him, you open more possibilities for himself or for other characters. So keep that in mind. Because of all he does, he's not going anywhere, so you should definitely invest in him. Like I said, maybe it's not going to be a Dark Dimension 7 peak, but you can definitely get value out of him. And then we have Mysterio. Mysterio, is he a best character in the game of the tech type? I mean, the minions that he summon, they slap. The minions, they absolutely slap. The ultimate, it just absolutely crushes everyone. In Alliance Wars, in Cosmic Crucible, whenever you do this ultimate and you apply Disrupt to everyone, and if you have him as a raider, like tons of damage to everyone, is absolutely ridiculous. And on top of that, the main reason why you want him as level 100, as big as possible, maybe not gear tier 19, but at least level 100, is because he spawns with immunity. And this immunity is very important, because when you are facing certain teams, like new Avengers that attack the character with the highest damage or the highest health or whatever, you definitely want them to attack Mysterio. If Mysterio tanks those stuns in the face because he has immunity, then you're going to be in a very good position for your team to crush your opponents. So this is definitely a character that you want to get as high as possible, even if he's not going to be a priority to gear tier 19. Even if it's not going to be a priority for that, it's still a character that you want to get to level 100 for sure. Okay, we're going to move on to the secondary options for tech. So we have Spider Slayer. This guy absolutely shreds. He does insane amount of damage. You can see that even at 5 yellow, 5 red, he already has 124,000 damage. And with his ultimate, he can pretty much one-shot anyone. And because of that, he's always going to have value. Whether he's going to one-shot Super Skrull, Mephisto, or Apocalypse in the future, he is going to be one trick pony that is going to allow you to win a lot of matches. And the bigger you have him, the better, especially without that piercing damage. Okay, I have Mysterio 2 times for some reason. So okay, I remember. So we're gonna skip that for now. Ultron Cosmic Crucible, yes. Alliance Wars, maybe. Is he a mythical character? He is a mythical character of the tech type, so you could also take him to Dark Dimension 7. Yikes. Now, the thing about Ultron is that the more you level him up, the stronger the minions become, right? And you really need these minions alive so they can provide all the value that they do. The biggest problem right now, and it's something that I'm struggling with Ultron, is that he just doesn't have enough red stars. So until you are ready to invest more red stars and diamonds on Ultron, it might seem a little bit underwhelming compared to other characters, but the value is definitely there. The value is definitely there, and for sure that now and in the future is still going to keep value because of the minions, because of the turning line, because of the ability of one-shotting characters and not being able to revive. So Ultron is not going anywhere. Then we have Spider-Man Big Time. The biggest surprise of 2023 is ultimate ability going so fast, applying Disrupt to one character, really turned around the head of a lot of people. The fact that he was able to counter right away so many good characters like Apocalypse, like Hardlight, like Black Cat, he really shakes up the meta, and this is in Alliance Wars Cosmic Crucible Arena. He was somewhat useful in Rise as well. He's definitely going to be useful in the future in Avengers Tower or Escape from Kyle and so on. And his stats are absolutely ridiculous. So he's definitely a character that you should have in mind. He's also quite cheap, so you could take him as a second tech option for Dark Dimension 7 as well. And then we have Lady Deathstrike. This is another sleeper character. Like, everyone is sleeping on Silver Samurai and Lady Deathstrike. And Lady Deathstrike, she's absolutely ridiculous. Every time she drops below 60% health, she's gonna get 2 evades and 2 death proofs. On top of that, she heals on turn. What else do you want? She lowers the resistance of enemies that have bleed, and she has bleed. She rewinds the enemies. She does piercing damage. She attacks multiple times if you kill the enemies. Why are people still sleeping on Lady Deathstrike? I honestly cannot understand. I get value of her in Cosmic Crucible, I get value of her in Alliance Wars, and sometimes in specific scenarios, in other game modes, she can be also useful as well. I'm not sure really why people are sleeping on her, but she's very, very good. On top of that, she's very cheap to get up to Dark Dimension 7. And in Dark Dimension 6, she definitely was very, very strong option. Allow you to get the Super Skrull faster and allow you to dominate the game because you unlock the newest toy as fast as possible. So this is definitely a character that you should be investing in. Okay, for the last characters, we are just going to take a look at the secondary options that we have for tech. Some of them are going to be more obvious than others. So we have Agent Coulson, we have Nebula, we have Dr. Octopus, Shocker, Shuri, and that's pretty much it. So from these characters I just mentioned, which ones should you really consider taking to level 100? As I said, Doctor Doom is definitely a character that you don't want to invest in, especially if he already has red stars. Be careful with that. It's going to cause you a lot of problems. It's going to become very inconsistent. So don't make the mistake I did with Doctor Doom. Should you take Doctor Doom to Dark Dimension 7? Between Doctor Doom and Ultron, I think I would rather take Ultron. No offense, hot take maybe. I would rather take Ultron because his minions are just way more useful. Dr. Octopus, for the same reason why I said we should invest on Mysterio, you can see right here, I would not invest on Dr. Octopus because many times, for example, against New Warriors, they are going to stun your Dr. Octopus rather than Mysterio. So the smallest your Dr. Octopus is, it can actually be beneficial. And the Shocker that he summons doesn't actually benefit from the additional stats. So keep that in mind. Then we have Shuri, part of the Wakanda team, part of the War Dogs. So this is definitely a character that you should be considering investing in, especially if you are on the Wakanda ecosystem. If you are in that ecosystem, if you are investing on those characters, if you like War Dogs, which, like I said, big value in Alliance Wars, you definitely want to invest on your Shuri. She's a legendary character. It's not like she's going to do much, but you need her to stay alive. So, I mean, what else can you say? Beyond that, we have to talk about Pegasus and Infestation. Infestation, in my opinion, they're absolute dog shit. The developers promised, or the developers said, that we had more Infestation characters coming. When I have not seen these, I'm not sure if you're gonna get more tags or what, but at least for now, we don't know anything about these additional Infestation characters that they talked about like 3 patches or 4 patches ago. It's actually insane that they bait us. They said, I invested on these characters because they said we were going to get more Infestation, and then we didn't got any Infestation. So be very careful with the investment on Infestation. In terms of Pegasus, a lot of people over-invested on Pegasus because they like raid teams. I'm actually not a big fan of raid teams, especially when I can use a raid team for only 3 nodes per day. It's just like 10 minutes of my time, unless I'm simming it, so it's like 30 seconds. So for me, I don't see a lot of value in these characters. Some people use them in Alliance Wars and Cosmic Crucible to some degree of success, but I'm not a big fan of their kits. I think their kits are okay-ish at best, but there are many ways that you can overcome them. So I don't know, and it's a lot of tech gear. DuArktik is not great. The Ironheart, Mortal Kombat 2, she's okay-ish at best. And Rescue, she's okay. Like, it's not a bad team. Like, it's definitely not a bad team. It's a good team, but I would definitely prioritize on anyone else other than this. Maybe you can justify Rescue because she revives, and that's going to be useful in Alliance Wars. So I guess her. And then we have Nebula. So Nebula, she's part of the Infinity Watch, and I recommend investing on all Infinity Watch. But Nebula, she's the one that has the least amount of health. And she has the mechanics that keep her alive without health, which is a lot of evades. It's the same reason why Lady Deathstrike is so good. It's because they get a bunch of evades. It's the same reason why Tigra is so good, because they get a bunch of evades. So in that regard, like, Nebula is okay, but she's not going to benefit as much from increasing levels like you get with Phyla-Vell or with Gamora. So if you want to make your Infinity Watch team better, she can be one option, but she's definitely not amazing by any means to take to level 100. And that's it, guys. Those are all the characters that you should build up to level 100, but not only to level 100, also for the future, for Dark Dimension 7, for the next season of Cosmic Crucible, for whichever next season of Alliance Wars we are going to get. These are the characters that are going to provide you the biggest amount of value in case you want to be successful in Marvel Strike Force. And if you don't invest on the ecosystems that we mentioned in this video, I also present to you some additional options for you to consider. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. Let me know in the comments below what you think about some of the hot takes I talked throughout the video. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Mouse Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.